Hello, you are watching It All Starts with a Dream talk show, and I am your host, Alika Karpova. Once again, we will talk about dreams today. Dreams come true. Action is needed in order to succeed, but most dreams are reachable. In our talk show, entrepreneurs and professionals talk about their dreams, share their life experiences, incredible stories, and secrets of success. You can watch the previous episodes of our show at itallstartswithadream.net. Today, we will talk about reaching her dream in art, in special kind of art, fine art and wearable art on silk. I'm happy to introduce to you our special guest, incredible, amazing artist Natasha Fouko. And we will talk about her dreams and her wonderful art on silk. Also, in the studio are my helpers, Kristina Karevsky-Karpova, our little star, Rosemary Elementary School, kindergarten.
Hello, how are you?
Sofia Yetka, our young generation, Westmont High School.
Hello.
Natasha, we have a tradition here. Kristina usually starts the interview. She prepared a wonderful question for you. Kristina, go ahead, ask your question, honey.
What was your childhood dream?
My childhood dream was to be an artist, and I became an artist, and I'm very happy that my dream came true.
Natasha, I believe that childhood dreams are related to what we do in adult life. Is that true for you?
For me, it's absolutely true.
Would you say that your art path started at young age?
It started not maybe very young. I was about 11 when I realized that I really need to draw and paint every day. And beginning from that age, I can say I was pretty obsessed with it. I was doing it every day.
Being a child, you probably did a lot of art projects. Can you talk about it a little bit more?
In the very beginning, I actually talked to my mom yesterday, and she reminded me what I was doing as a child. I was fascinated with medical theme. I was doing, two figures. It was usually one was a doctor and one was a nurse, and she said it was always clear who is who. But then a little later, at around age 12, I started to see things around me, beautiful things, and I was very excited that I'm able to see it. And my dream was to be able to paint it and to make other people see the beauty around us.
Tell us a little bit more about your childhood. Where did you grow up, and did you have a big family?
I had a small family. I was the only child, and I was born and grew up in Moscow, Russia. And my parents were very supportive.
Were your parents artists, or maybe some other relatives were artists?
None of my relatives did anything in art world. They actually all were chemists. And I guess in the beginning they were thinking maybe she will be a chemist. And I had some ideas about that, but I was a little pyromaniac. I liked to burn stuff at home. So when I asked them to buy me the set, it was a set, Young Chemist, and they said, no, better not. So that was over with. And then later when they say, why didn't you go to chemical? Because my parents graduated, my grandfather worked as a dean of Moscow Chemical College. I said, see, you didn't buy me that set. I could have been a chemist, but I'm so glad that, I never.
So you chose art part. Who influenced you the most in this?
I can say that, I guess it was a girl in the school who was a good artist, and we were sitting at the same desk, and I was fascinated with what she was doing. And then all of a sudden I got the best award that was a school show, art show, and I thought, oh my God, I can do something. And then I asked my parents, can I go to like art school? Because I was a swimmer as a child around 12, and I was pretty good at swimming. And my coach came to my parents and asked, could you send her to Olympic team?
Wow.
And I was very flattered, and my parents asked, would you go? And then I thought seriously about it, because I had to go every day to the pool, and I decided no, I really want to do art. And then I asked them to find art school, and they found really good art school for me.
It's actually a big honor to become an Olympic team kind of member. So, but you chose art.
I did because it was. I guess even at the young age, it was giving me so much happiness. It was like I can say it was feeding my soul.
How did you get interested in silk painting and wearable art?
That came later. So I came to the first graduated art school for children in Moscow, and then I graduated Moscow Pedagogical Institute art department, and we had 1 semester of silk painting. So I found out about it, but I did a lot of different things. I did etchings, I did ceramic, and I wanted to succeed, and for that you have to do something seriously and concentrate on one medium. So what happened to me was kind of a little strange story. I got very sick, actually. I was infected through the needle. I lived in Russia, so with hepatitis B, and spent 4 months in the hospital. And after that, they said you can't even come close to ceramic, etchings, oil painting, because of the heavy metals and poisonous materials. So I chosen at that point. I chosen the safest media, but then I discovered that it's amazing media, and I can do pretty much everything in it.
So that's how it happened. Okay. So Sophia has a couple questions for you as well. So Sophia, go ahead. Ask
I'm a
your
high school
question.
student right now, and it's the time for me to think about my future. And when you were in high school, what did you think about your future?
When I was in high school, I knew that I want to go to art college, and it was very competitive. It was hard to get in the art college, so I was taking classes, separate classes. I was going to this art school for children, and I had the tutor because I had to pass the exam. So I was very concentrated, but I guess it's never late. If you know what you want to do, you can start at any point. But yes, you have to start preparing yourself for your college.
What gives you inspiration? Where do you get it from?
Inspiration, for me, it's everywhere. I like the nature. I like cityscapes, landscapes, still lifes, and I travel a lot, and I travel with a camera. So when I see something, I photograph it.
Natasha, you mentioned something about your degree. Can you tell a little bit more, maybe the most interesting memories of your student life or something?
My student life was very exciting. It was a group of people who were all artists, and we had a lot in common. We traveled a lot together. My earliest memory was an art school, a children's art school. We went to Suzdal. Suzdal is a gorgeous place north from Moscow, and it has 300 churches and 5 monasteries.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing. It's a fairy tale. We didn't tell adults. We were about 14. It was a group like 10 of us, and we just brought our painting supplies, got on a train. We didn't know where we're going to spend the night. It was raining.
Risky.
It was risky, yeah. We found a place. We asked local people what's a good spot to put tents. We brought tents with us. And we woke up in this amazingly beautiful place on the river, bank of the river, Nerl, with a beautiful Kiddush church. I still remember how we all were amazed by all this beauty. We painted for 3 days there, slept in tents, got wet, completely soaked. It was raining. But this trip is my favorite. I actually described that trip in my book.
Your book.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yes,
Okay.
that
Do you want to
was-
talk about this a little bit?
Sure. This book I wrote with co-author Jean-Michel Salander. It was very interesting project. It's kind of 3-in-1. It's art book, autobiography book, and techniques. It's all in there. This is actually a place where we put the tents right around this church. It's a beautiful place. And I described my techniques. So like I said, I already been an artist and I had my style. when I became sick. So I started to develop different techniques in silk, how to paint glass, how to paint reflections. This is, by the way, one of my paintings, and you can see that I'm very interested in glass and reflections. Pretty much all my paintings have water in some form. So, and in this book there's techniques how to do it on silk. So this, I'm very happy that it happened. It was a silk painting retreat for South Bay Silk Artists Guild, and I was telling them stories. I usually have a slideshow and talk about how the paintings were done, but we had plenty of time. I told them stories, and they said, you have to write a book. It's a book. And I said, I'd love to write a book, but I'm not a writer, and English is not my native language. And one woman in that group said, I want to write that book, and she did.
Well, congratulations on that, because I think to write a book, it's a lot of work, and you've done it.
Yes,
so
I'm
now
very
you have
happy.
it.
I'm very happy about that.
Good, that's good. Yeah, beautiful book. Let's put it right here. Yeah. Well, my next question is, like, I noticed that you like to travel in your art. You have a lot of paintings showing Venice. Can you comment on that, please?
I love Italy. I think I've been there already maybe 6 times, and of course Venice is one of my favorite. I already mentioned that I love water, and that is the place where you see water and reflections everywhere. And when I'm in Venice, I wake up at 4 in the morning. It actually goes for every place I go. I like to catch the essence of the city, of the town, when there's no people yet. And for Venice it works the best because Venice is extremely popular. So I can catch it without people and without boats, or reflections are still. It's like glass, you know, you look at the reflection and this beautiful architecture right there in the water. So it inspires me.
Can you talk a little bit more about fine art of yours?
So I have 2 pieces here in the studio. This one is still life, the view from my window, and the one on the bottom is one of the cityscapes, San Francisco, Fort Mason, sunset in Fort Mason. When I travel, I take photographs, and then I try to remember what I saw when I sort over my pictures, and I try to find something which struck me, some feeling for that place, and then I do sometimes it's just imaginary scenes, but mostly my fine art is based on real thing, because I think we can't do anything more beautiful that is already there, created by nature or people.
Already exists,
right.
Yeah. I have lizard piece on the photograph, that image that we will show for our audience. Can you talk a little bit about this piece, lizard piece? Right.
This piece, it was inspired by the photograph I took at, it was in Hawaii. It was Kauai, island of Kauai. I just saw this incredible scene, a lizard climbing on bird of paradise flower, and I caught her. I was so happy that I have her in the picture. And she was like blend in. It's hard to see her, right? It's hard to see her on that flower. So I just tried to repeat it as close as possible to what I saw.
Okay. My next question is, like, you create such a beautiful wearable art. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
I started working on wearable art back in Moscow, in Russia, and the reason why I wanted to do it is because it was very hard to find interesting clothes or different clothes. As children, we were wearing brown uniform. Can you believe it, Sophia?
Brown uniform?
Brown, yes,
yeah.
It was deadly. So I wanted something bright, I wanted something beautiful. And it was hard to come up with materials, with supplies for that. So my first dress was, it was St. Vitus Cathedral from Prague. And I found fishing net, and I colored it black, and I made the top from fishing net, and the bottom was this stained glass from the church, and everybody asked me, and I was very excited about it. And when I came to America 25 years ago, I found a lot of interest in it. So I widened, this. I make dresses, coats, ponchos, capes, and actually here in the studio, we all dressed up for you guys. So.
Yeah. It's a pleasure actually to have
Yes.
this beautiful outfit.
Alec is wearing the
me
cape, and this is
Sophia
inspired by
and even
Dali.
Christina. Yeah,
Everybody.
everybody.
Sophia wearing Venice piece with gondolas and lamps, and Christina wearing a piece inspired by Klimt. In my wearable art, I find inspiration everywhere. It can be a cityscape, it can be one of my favorite contemporary artists, like this piece inspired by Juan Miro.
I'm curious, many artists create paintings, but not so many work with silk. Am I mistaken, or is it like how often do you see other artists doing what you're doing, like in
Actually,
America?
yeah, it's a very good question. It is very new media for America. It came to the history is very interesting. It came from Russia, actually. I read it in the book here. I didn't know back in Russia. In about 1917, when the Tsar's court immigrated to France, they brought this technique, and in Russia they call it cold batik. Here it's just painting on silk, and in France they called it peinture sur soie. And French woman came to America in about 1960 and taught the first workshop on silk. And from that point on, there were few artists in America. And now we have Silk Painters International Congress. We get together every 2 years, so people actually from all over the world, but mainly from US, who are interested in painting on silk. So I would say it's pretty new media for America.
Can you tell a little bit more about technique? Like, it's interesting, like
How it's done.
How it's done, yeah.
It does look like watercolor, but technically it's very different. The paint, it's a silk dyes, the liquid silk dyes. They spread. So once you touch the silk with the silk dye, it will go everywhere. So you have to make a borders, and that's where I can show you here. I use this gutta lines. See the white lines?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a glue. It's you outline, and there's many different ways you can do it, but basically you have to contain the color in a certain shape. And then it's done with the brush on white silk.
Can you wash this clothes?
Oh yes, you can wash it. It has to be steamed though. It's a special way of setting the dyes to silk. So after steaming, you can wash it, and you can wash even the paintings. So they're very durable. They look, fragile, but they last for a long time.
Where did you learn it?
Well, I learned it in Russia. Most of it I learned in Russia. I met the woman, she was 90 then, so she might have been in that very beginning of silk painting in Russia. And I learned some from her, and then I lived in France for a little bit, and it was very big in France. They had even like sets where they had pre-gutted, with resist already on silk sets. So there it's very popular. So I learned some there, but pretty much now I learn as I go, because we meet with other silk artists every 2 years, and everybody exchange techniques and methods.
I wouldn't be surprised about France being like so in silk, because they like so fashionable all the time. So yeah, it's not surprising that there it's like so popular.
Yeah, I would say it was very big in Russia actually. When I was living, there were a lot of artists in Russia who was doing silk, but silk was always known to be decorative media, not so much as fine art. So I kind of tried to make it, finding all these techniques closer to fine art. So I hope I got there.
About decorative, I saw that on your website you do actually interiors. Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yes, silk can be everywhere. It was in France. I saw lampshades first. I started doing lampshades. And silk looks great when you see through it because it's like stained glass. So with lampshade, it's just perfect. And then I got a commission to do curtains. So I did many houses. People asked me to create this, scene with some panels on the walls and curtains, sometimes bedspreads, lampshades, pillowcases. So silk is everywhere.
Do you have your favorite projects in interiors that you've done so far?
Yes, actually, I do. My girlfriend has a beautiful house on Lake Tulak, and it looks on the lake. And for me, it's very special because I love water so much. And it's all covered in silk. It has silk curtains, it has silk panels, it has pillowcases, and the whole place is so light and beautiful. A lot of air, a lot of sun, and it's all kind of orangey, kind of red. Really happy-looking place.
So your website, natashasilkart.com, yes?
Yes, it's correct. And if you forget, you just put Natasha Silk and you will always find me.
Okay. So you're looking for new customers, aren't you? Or
Absolutely.
Always,
I'm always
yes?
excited about
Always
new
excited
projects.
about new projects.
Sure.
So can you tell us how your parents were supportive in your art path and also in your life?
My parents were very supportive. Like I mentioned to them when this conversation took place about being an Olympic team that I wanted to go to art school. They got in the car and drove through all the art schools and found the best one. It was absolutely best school for children. And it was not that easy to get in, so I had to get a tutor to be prepared for this art school. And they just pretty much, my mother took me to art museums a lot when I was a child, so I guess that put some foundation for appreciation of art. So my parents were very supportive.
Do you remember maybe some special words of wisdom from your parents that you carry throughout your life? Something special that...
Yes, no, they, I think my mother told me that if you like to do it, you just pursue it, and that will make you happy, and that is absolutely true.
What about your favorite place to travel? You mentioned that you travel a lot, and maybe you have your favorite place to be. What is it?
I have a lot of favorite places, but I guess I can say Prague.
Prague.
Maybe because it was my first foreign travel. I was 18, and I went to Prague by myself. I spent 3 months, and it was so beautiful. I actually sold my first painting at the Karlov Bridge.
In Prague?
I didn't plan to sell anything. I was just painting, that was the whole idea. I painted what I saw, and a German tourist asked me if I can sell it, and I said, sell it? I was 18, so. And I just gave him a price, I think $10. He was very excited. And I went straight to art store. They had pencils, and to me it was like, I guess, a candy shop for a child.
Nice.
They had all kind of supplies.
Nice. What would you recommend to our viewing audience on pursuing dreams?
First of all, you have to find what you like to do, something what makes you happy. And once you find that, just follow your dream, do everything possible. Don't be discouraged. It might be hard in the beginning. It's never easy, especially when you start something new, especially if you do it in a new place. But be strong and work a lot, and you'll get there.
Well, I know that you are a workaholic. What would you say, secret of success? What is it, in your opinion?
Work helps, yes, absolutely. You have to work a lot, but you have to enjoy it. If you enjoy it, if you really like doing it, it will be easy, and you will succeed.
Do you have any close project or something in the future that you would like to accomplish?
Sure. I'm looking forward to a very exciting trip. We're going to Italy again. We're talking where should we go this year, and decided to go to Cinque Terre. It's an area in Italy, 5 hill towns connected by the beautiful hikes, and I always wanted to paint a series of work with Cinque Terre, so that's my next project.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to our viewing audience to inspire them?
I want to say that we live in such a beautiful world. Everything around us beautiful. Just try to see it. It's actually, we're all busy, we drive somewhere, we run somewhere, but just stop and look around yourself. I just came back from Calistoga, and of course now it's a fall, gorgeous vineyards, beautiful red, orange colors, reflections in the water, rain, and especially we live in California. It's so gorgeous. We have mountains, we have snow, we have lakes, we have ocean. Actually, ocean is my favorite place.
Well, Natasha, thank you very much for coming to our show. It was an incredible experience to have you here today with us. And girls, Sophia, Christina, thank you very much for coming to our show as well. You were great helpers today. You were watching It All Starts with a Dream talk show, and I'm your host, Alika Karpova. See you next time.